Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Dr. Emma Pollon-Macleod. I'm a naturopathic doctor here at NutriChem. So this week is Naturopathic Medicine Week. So we're having Facebook Lives from all of our clinicians all week talking about different subjects that you guys have asked us really frequently about. So today I wanted to do a really quick talk on struggles with weight loss and particularly how hormones can impact weight loss goals. So we see a lot of women struggling with weight loss who come to see us. Particularly, they've tried a whole bunch of different diets, they've tried so many different things and nothing seems to work for them. Or maybe they lose, 4 or 5 pounds and they just can't get that weight off. So I've been through personal struggles a little bit as I just had a baby 8.5 months ago. So that is kind of an extreme example of how hormone changes can severely impact weight gain and weight loss. So there's a couple systems that are really important for weight changes. And the first one I wanted to talk about is your thyroid. Okay, so thyroid is kind of more classically known. It's a gland right on your throat here, right above your voice box. Thyroid helps control metabolism, body temperature. It has a huge, thyroid hormone has huge impacts for brain health and that sort of thing. It's extremely common nowadays to have a subclinically functioning thyroid. So that means a low functioning thyroid. So a lot of women, and men as well, but it's actually more common in women to have hypothyroid, which means low functioning thyroid. They come in, they're really tired, fatigued, they have a lot of low energy, they're cold all the time, tons of brain fog, and one of the biggest things is they just can't lose weight. They've been really trying, struggling, they're exercising, they're eating really well, they're doing everything right, but the weight just isn't coming off. So that's one of the first areas that we always want to check in on. I mean, you can be eating the best diet in the world, but if you have no thyroid hormone, your body will not be not able to metabolize properly. So you're basically in a state where your body is trying to preserve energy as much as it can. So the last thing it wants to do is lose weight. So you're basically in like a survival mode. It's really interesting how your body does have these backup systems. So it's almost like a hibernation mode. So your body will not lose weight. So thyroid is one of the main hormones for weight loss that we definitely have to check up on if you're struggling. Another thing we see a lot of hormones when we're talking about hormones sabotaging weight loss is estrogen, so your sex hormones. So as women age, they get into that perimenopause, menopause stage of their life, estrogen levels start to decline. And estrogen is a metabolic hormone. It helps with metabolism as well, that sort of thing. So when your estrogen levels start to decline, a lot of women start to find that they start gaining weight in areas that they never had problems with weight gain before. So a lot around the belly, that sort of thing, on the arms, those are a lot of the estrogen sites as well. So sometimes we have to really balance those hormones out in order to actually get weight loss goals happening. So again, you can be having such a be having the perfect diet, but if your hormones aren't balanced, you're going to be constantly fighting against your own biochemistry to be able to lose that weight. So especially if there's changes going on with your period, there's a lot of mood changes, it's really important that we look at your hormone levels to make sure those are balanced out, especially when we're tackling weight loss. Okay, so thyroid health, hormone health, those are two really big ones. And then of course we have to look at your insulin levels. So fasting insulin to reflect how your body is responding to sugar that it's taking in. So one of the really popular diets that's out there right now is the ketogenic diet. And the thing that's really cool about that diet is it does suppress your insulin release, okay? So what we test here at NutriChem is we test your fasting blood sugar and we test another marker of blood sugar control, but we also test your fasting insulin level because that is telling us if your body is constantly in a fed state, which basically means your body is, whenever there's insulin in the blood, your body is in a a building stage. It's not in a burning stage, okay? So it means it's gonna be everything you're eating, it's gonna be grabbing it, holding it, and converting it into fat, and you're not gonna be in a state where you're trying to burn off energy. So one of the main things we have to do is we have to get those insulin levels down so your body can be more in a fasting state. In a fasting state, that's when you're gonna be burning that energy off, okay? So it's really interesting to kind of think of it more evolutionarily speaking. Your body, if there's a lot of stress going on and your hormones are off balance, the last thing it wants to do is start losing weight. It's going to be doing everything it can to conserve energy as much as possible. Historically speaking, when your insulin levels are high and you're in a fed state, your body is trying to hold on to all of those calories, convert all that energy to fat, so that in the future, if there's a scarcity of food, you have a lot of stored up energy to burn, right? It's not going to start burning energy when you're fasting or when you're fed, because classically speaking, it needed to prepare our bodies for if there wasn't any food around. So you do have to work with the old. So our body was designed when there wasn't a lot of food around. So you do have to work with those systems to make sure that we're in the right balance. So if someone is, if someone's doing all the right things, but their hormones are off again, they're always going to struggle. So historically, a consult that I do for weight loss is very different than when we would do for something else, because when we're trying to get weight off, we do things more like intermittent fasting. Okay, so prolonging the time of your lower insulin levels by fasting for the first couple hours of a day. We do things like that. We'll do things like carbohydrate cycling, balancing your thyroid, balancing your estrogen, that sort of thing. So I know it's sounding quite complicated and confusing, and it doesn't have to be, but we do want to make sure that we're covering all areas of hormones, because there can be some really major roadblocks, and people are trying to kind of manage it on their own, and they've been struggling for years. So this is one of the areas that is super, super, super important. And personally for me, I gained a ton of weight with my first pregnancy. Again, it's only been about 9 months, but I was really, really struggling to take any weight off after the first 6 months. I wasn't able to lose any weight at all. So when I did a month of the keto diet, it didn't work for me. I felt really terrible, but it reset my body, it reset my hormones, so that post keto, I've been able to actually take about 20 pounds off now. So that's how targeting and shifting your hormones, things like insulin and thyroid, and your estrogen levels, of course my estrogen levels are changing as well, can have a major, major impact on weight loss. So I hope that you guys have found this kind of useful. I know we didn't really talk about any therapeutics, but it's because everybody is unique. We really do need to measure and test levels to make sure that we're in the right range for weight loss. And then once you usually get that right, those things balance out, then that's when the weight will come off kind of really nicely. Okay, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment and ask. But we also are doing another Facebook Live at 3 o'clock today with Dr. Yusuf Siddiqui, and he's actually talking about IV vitamin therapy. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day.